Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lloyd Holt. A cat died and went to heaven. God met her at the gates and said, "You have been a good cat all these years. Anything you want is yours for the asking." The cat thought for a minute and then said, "All my life I lived on a farm and slept on hard wooden floors. I would like a real fluffy pillow to sleep on." God said, "Say no more," and instantly the cat had a huge fluffy pillow. A few days later, 6 mice were killed in an accident, and they all went to heaven together. God met the mice at the gates with the same offer that he made to the cat. The mice said, "Well, we've had to run all our lives from cats, dogs, and even people with brooms. If we could just have some little roller skates, we would not have to run again." God answered, "It is done." All the mice had beautiful little roller skates. About a week later, God decided to check on the cat. He found her sound asleep on her fluffy pillow, and God gently awakened the cat and asked, "Is everything okay? How have you been doing? Are you happy?" The cat replied, "Oh, it is wonderful. I have never been so happy in my life. The pillow is so fluffy, and those little meals on wheels you've been sending over are delicious." Yesterday was All Saints Sunday, the day when we remember those who have died in the previous year, commending them to God and celebrating how they are now with God forever. So it is only natural that right now we might be thinking about heaven and what heaven will be like. Don't think there'll be meals on wheels like that, however. That's the plan for this week, to spend time reflecting and sharing some thoughts about heaven, along with some things the Bible seems to tell us. I wish it were all straightforward. In fact, the Bible speaks about heaven often, but it doesn't speak with a unified voice. Maybe I can explain it like this. I had an uncle who loved to play golf and who believed that heaven was going to be one long, unending golf course where he could play to his heart's content. His vision, in other words, was that in heaven we would be able to enjoy whatever we most enjoyed here. If that was golf, then there you go. If it was stamp collecting or music, well, you get the idea. What's underneath his vision is that heaven meant different things to different people. And the same thing is true of the people in the Bible who had different visions of heaven and how to describe it. In addition, none of them had been there, and they are attempting to use human language to describe something beyond our understanding. So what can we say about heaven? I think the first thing we can say, and the one thing that is well agreed upon, is that God is there. Now, of course, God is everywhere, but the idea is that in heaven, God is there in a unique way, in a way when we feel, know, and see God's presence with us. There are many who parse the book of Revelation for details about the end times, and that's not how I interpret Revelation, but that's a discussion for another time. Nevertheless, John's vision at the end of Revelation is a meaningful expression that speaks of God's presence, and especially of God's presence with us. In Revelation 21, John describes it like this: "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'See, the home of God is among mortals. He will dwell with them. They will be his peoples, and God himself will be with them. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. Death will be no more. Mourning and crying and pain will be no more. For the first things have passed away. And the one who was seated on the throne said, See, I am making all things new. The heart of John's vision is that there would no longer be any separation between God and God's people. God will dwell with us. We will dwell directly with God. Maybe we need to focus on that word dwell for just a moment. It doesn't mean just place you stay or place you are at. Rather, it describes someone who comes and stays. It means an ongoing presence, a continual reality, a supportive community, a being together in an ongoing way. It is heaven to dwell with God. It is heaven to have God dwelling with us this way. What comfort, what hope, what peace this vision gives. In heaven, we will be with God. We will belong in God's loving embrace forever. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.